What the flip is up, guys? It's your girl Brooklyn and welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video. As you can tell from the title, we are going to be diving into some more military talk. Let's see if she'll let me lay her down. There we go. So I wanted to hop on here really quickly and give y'all... My daughter is currently in her swing off to the side over here, so if you hear any random cooing noises, that is what it is. So I hope that doesn't bother you guys. I'm very, very sorry. I am going to be giving you 10 of my very best tips for how to survive deployment. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. If you didn't know, my boyfriend is actually in the military and he is about to be going on deployment. He leaves in a little over a month, so I figured why not hit you guys with another military video. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because it really helps support my channel. And let's hop into today's video. So a little bit about my background. My boyfriend is in the Navy. I have been dealing with this whole military lifestyle since about 2014. So going on almost 7 years now. I know a little bit about the military and its ways. I don't know everything, but I have a few tips for you guys because I have gone through multiple deployments and we are about to go through another one again. So I figured in case you are newly in a military relationship and your significant other is about to leave and you've never gone through a deployment before, or if you yourself are about to leave on deployment, hopefully these tips will help ease your mind and help you through it because it definitely can be a bit of a hard time. Okay, so we're gonna start off with tip number 1. Setting goals for yourself. This is going to be a very crucial tip to kind of help keep you busy and keep you focused on something other than your significant other being gone or you yourself being gone. It can be anything. You can, try and come up with different hobbies that you haven't been able to do yet, or you can set goals together as a couple. For instance, I know some people like to set goals for how much money they want to have in their accounts by the time their significant other gets back from deployment. So you can set small goals for yourself or larger goals, just something that you can work towards either individually or as a couple to kind of help keep your mind focused on something other than the fact that your significant other is gone and will be gone for an extended period of time. I have learned that this has definitely helped me tremendously in the past. So my second tip that I have for you guys is to keep busy. You want to do everything that you possibly can to keep yourself busy. Sitting around lounging and waiting for the time to pass by is going to drive you absolutely insane, and it is going to do just that, make the time drag by so slow. You do not want to just sit around and look at the clock and waste the day away. I'm telling you, find something, anything to keep yourself busy, because staying cooped up in your house alone for days on end, for months on end, especially when you're used to having somebody there with you all the time, is gonna drive you nuts. It is going to make the time go by so unbelievably slow, and it's also gonna cause you to be very lonely. When you're busy and you're constantly moving, you don't really have time to focus on things like being sad. You're too busy doing other things. It's usually when you stop and slow down, like at nighttime, when your day kind of slows down and you have more time to process and think about those things, where you're going to feel more lonely and sad. So keep busy, keep yourself going, find things to do, something to keep you busy. I'm telling you, it will make a world of difference. Tip number 3. Sending care packages. Sending care packages is going to do a multitude of things for you. It's going to be something fun for both parties involved. It's going to be something for your significant other and you to look forward to. It gives them something to do. It gives them a little piece of home and makes them feel loved and special. For them being on deployment, I can't really speak for being the one on deployment because I've never been the one to leave and go on deployment, but I know that for them, it definitely is a totally different mindset and mind game. I can't even imagine being away from family and friends, especially for long extended periods of time. So this is really a way to kind of make them feel special. It kind of makes them feel like they're at home. It's just a little piece of you and your family to send to them. And in some cases, depending on where they are on deployment, they might not have access to a lot of things that you do. So you can send them some of their like favorite trinkets and snacks and stuff that they might not be able to get their hands on while they're over there. So it's another little special treat for them. But it's also something for you to focus on and for the two of you to kind of look forward to, which in turn does make the time go by faster. So tip number 4. Learning learning how to communicate. This is going to be a huge tip that I can give you guys. Communication in any relationship is one of, if not the most important aspect to a good, healthy relationship. But when it comes to them being gone and on deployment, you really want to have good communication with each other, because you're not going to be able to talk to each other as much. You won't be able to FaceTime as much. You might not be able to text as often or call and speak on the phone as much, depending on where they are, depending on their job, if they're on a carrier or, you know, in the middle of the desert where they have to go days and sometimes weeks without talking to you. It's going to help you and help keep your mind at ease if y'all are really good at communicating with one another. Because when it comes to texting, which is probably going to be the one form of communication that you're going to use the most while they're on deployment, at least in my experience, that's how it's always been. It's very difficult to pick up someone else's tone through text message. So you just want to be very transparent with the other. If you're feeling sad or angry or frustrated, if they do something that bothers you. Me, I'm the kind of person where I like to keep things bottled up into myself. I don't want to cause a problem. I don't like confrontation, but in turn that can also be very negative when it comes to deployment, because I keep things to myself, and seeing how Danny isn't going to be able to see me, he's not going to be able to pick up on my facial cues, he's not going to know that anything's wrong unless I tell him that something's wrong, which in turn allows me to keep it bottled up a lot easier. But it also caused for a big explosion later on down the road, because I keep it all bottled up, and it's not fair to him because he doesn't know that he's doing anything that is bothering me, and then I'm just going to explode on him one day, and it's just going to cause a fight that it didn't necessarily need to even happen in the first place. So if I can give you any advice, it would be to be open and honest with each other. Make sure that you're communicating no matter what it is, especially if you're going longer periods of times without talking to one another, because depending on where they are, for example, a lot of the times when Danny's on deployment, we are in totally different time zones. When I'm going to sleep, he's waking up for the day, and vice versa. So we only have a very small window where we're able to talk to one another. And if something's bothering me and I don't use that window of opportunity to tell him, I then have to wait an entire day. So I let it sit and sink in all day long. I get in my head. So the next time that we talk, instead of us already talking about it and handling the situation, I have now let it sit and sink in. I'm even more mad than I was before. You can see how it can become a problem. No matter what it is, make sure that you are openly talking and communicating with one another. I promise you, it will make this deployment go so much smoother for you guys. Okay, so this is a pretty big one for me, and this kind of goes along with keeping busy. Really want to get into a routine as quickly as possible. It's going to help make the time go by faster. It's going to help you from just sitting around and waiting and counting down the days. Getting into a routine is really going to help you settle into your new normal that you're going to be experiencing for the next few months and or year, depending on how long your significant other is going to be gone on deployment. You just really want to settle into this new routine to kind of help you acclimate to this new lifestyle that you're going to have to be dealing with. I don't know if this is weird or if this is a normal thing, if other people do this. I don't know why. I'm just way more productive and way more independent when he's not around. I don't know if it's because I know that I have to be, and when he's home I can rely on him more. We can split things in half. I can do the dishes and you feed the dogs. I can do this and you take the trash out and this and that. Whereas when it's just me and I'm home by myself, I have to be more independent. So when I get into a new routine, I can allow myself to keep everything organized, which keeps me sane, because I'm a very type A person. I like to have a plan. I like to have things in order and things organized. It just helps me function better as a person, especially now that I have a child. It just helps make me feel more like myself, but it allows me to be independent and to grow. I feel like I don't do that as much when he's here, because he is the man and he takes care of me and he likes to take care of me, and I just let him when he's home. When he's gone, when I set myself a new routine, it allows me to become independent and do things for myself. Okay, tip number 7. Making new friends. I know some of you that are watching right now are probably at home, like maybe your significant other is about to leave for basic training and you're staying in the place that you were born and raised, or say his first duty station was where y'all are both from. Whatever the case may be, some of you may be at home right now, but others, and the majority of you, are probably in a different state or city or town that you are not from, so you don't know anyone, and or you are about to be moving. So if you are in a case like that where you are in a new state and you are unfamiliar familiar with it, you don't know anyone, get out and make new friends. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna meet someone and you're gonna become friends with them, and they're gonna introduce you to their friends, and their friends are gonna introduce you to their friends, and so on and so forth. And this is how you're gonna really be able to build that friend group. Everybody needs that friend group. It's so important. That way you're not by yourself. You can meet new people. You can go out and be a human being and not stay cooped up. That is the goal throughout this entire deployment, is to not stay cooped up and lonely and depressed and sad. I grew up in a very small town, so everybody knew everybody. So it was very important for me when I moved into a new place, into a new state, that I made new friends and I met people, because I enjoy going to the grocery store and seeing someone that I know and really knowing everyone. That's how it's been my entire life. So it was important for me to know people. It just made it feel more homier for me. I didn't feel like an outcast. I am an extrovert in a lot of ways, but I also don't like doing things by myself. I would be more prone to go to the beach or go to the museum or go to the movies if I went with a group of people, rather than going and doing these things by myself. So get out and make friends. They will help keep you company in your time of need when you're feeling lonely and sad because your significant other is gone. A lot of places have a MILSO page, or a military wives Facebook page and group. It does not mean that you have to be married to join this group, but I would definitely recommend looking into it. A majority of bases that you're gonna go to are gonna have a wives page. They give so much advice on any and everything you can think of. A lot of people meet each other through there, so you can set up coffee dates and movie dates, and that can also be another place for you to meet and make new friends. So I would definitely look into that. Make some friends. And tip number 8. It is okay to cry. I know this sounds like dumb and you might be thinking, what? But a lot of people get in their head and they think, oh, I have to be strong. I can't cry. I can't show sadness. It's weak and blah, blah, blah. No, it is 100% okay to cry, and it's actually healthy to cry. Sometimes it makes me feel better. Sometimes I just have to let out a good cry sesh and then I'm good, and then I'm fine. I'm Gucci. I can go on with my day. But with that being said, do not sit around and just cry and mope around all day, every day. That's when it kind of gets a little dark and scary, because then it kind of, leads into that depressing thoughts and you're just really sad all the time, and you don't want to do that. Do things that are going to make you happy, that are going to get you through the day. Yes, it is hard, and a lot of people don't realize just how difficult it is, especially if you're dealing with a smaller deployment. When you are used to having someone around and with you 24/7, and then now you're basically having to be on your own for 3 months or become a single parent for 3 months, it's hard. It's sad. You miss your significant other. 1 week, 3 months, 6 months, it's all the same to me. So just remember, yes, it is okay to cry, but no, you don't want to sit around and cry constantly. Each day, you're one day closer to your significant other coming home. Let's look at it that way. Okay, so I don't know what the heck is going on with my hair, guys. It's looking rough. I'm sorry. Just go with it. It's a lot to maintain. Y'all, this is gonna help y'all dramatically. I would say count down by months, not days. You could count down by weeks if you want, but I feel like even then, that's still pushing it. If you count down by the months, it's gonna make it seem like it's gonna go by so much faster, rather than being like, oh, I've got 24 weeks to go. I don't know. I just feel like 6 months sounds so much better than 24 weeks. I could be wrong, call me crazy. The people that have the apps on the phone that count down the days, it's like, oh, I have 169 days until such and such homecoming. Ugh, that just sounds miserable. That would drive me nuts. I could not do it. I just feel like that would make it go by so freaking slow. Go by months. Maybe when you get down to like a month, you can start counting by the weeks. I feel like saying, oh, Danny will be home in 5 weeks sounds so much worse than being like, oh, I have a month to go. So maybe when you get to like 3 weeks, then you can start counting down by weeks. I don't know. It's up to you. But for me, with my experience, it's so much easier, and it makes it go by so much faster when you count down by the months. Okay, guys, and we are at our final tip. We've made it. don't view deployment as a negative thing. I know this is really hard, and a lot of people, myself included, when you think of deployment, you think of it as being a very negative thing, but I don't want you to think that way, because I feel like when you're constantly looking for the negatives in something, that's all you're gonna see. You're not gonna see the positives, and you really wanna focus on the brighter side of things when it comes to this, and the more positive aspects of it to help you get through it and not dread the entire time. Because if you're in a military relationship, I hate to break it to you, deployment is part of the package. It is very, very rare that you can be in the military and or in a military relationship where you're not going to have to deal with deployment. Deployment is a given when it comes to the military. It's gonna be such a big part of your life. You don't want to have this big negative thing dwelling on you, right? So try and find the good in deployment and your significant other being gone. And I know that sounds crazy. It's not good that your significant other is gone, but there is definitely pros to it. Look at it like this. This is a time and this is a chance for you to go outside of your comfort zone. Learn to do things without your significant other. Learn to grow as an individual. It's healthy to be your own person in a relationship, and I feel like when you're constantly around your significant other, it doesn't really allow you to grow as your own individual person. You want to grow separately and as individuals, but you also want to grow together, if that makes sense. So you really want to learn who you are as a person without your significant other. It is okay to live without them. You are going to be dealing with deployments and being by yourself a lot when it comes to the military, so you really want to learn who you are as your own person. You want to be able to be by yourself and to be independent and to grow as a person, if that makes sense. This is temporary. They're only going to be gone for a short amount of time. I hope that makes sense. But focus on growing and becoming an individual and becoming independent, because it is good to be independent. It is healthy. It is okay. And we are done with today's video. I hope my tips for surviving deployment help you and ease your mind and kind of make this transition a little easier for you guys. Please leave them in the comments. Hi, we're just talking about you. It's perfect timing.
Not you.
No. Look, I got her to sleep. I don't know how. Nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm almost done. But if there's any tips or tricks that you have that have helped you through a deployment that maybe I didn't touch on, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below so we can help each other out. We need to be a supportive group of men and women. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, because it really helps support my channel. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye.